A few months ago, RAF Media Reserves was asked by the RAF Police to create an immersive 360-degree video experience for use in virtual reality headsets. It was a huge learning curve for all involved. Here's how we did it.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
The opening shot highlights our first problem. In a conventional video, you point the camera where you want the viewer to look. But in 360, if you don't have them looking in the right direction at the outset, they could easily miss the action. So it was important to ensure the viewer was properly orientated before presenter Josie walked up the ramp. There's nowhere to hide a prompter or cue cards, so Josie, who incidentally is a real RAF Police flight sergeant, not an actor, did a magnificent job of memorising quite a complex set of lines. This was the easiest shot, with the fewest moving parts, in which the cavernous hold of the C-17 is really the star of the show. The learning point of the next scene, beneath the impressively huge propellers of the Atlas A400M that's relevant to every 360 shoot, is that there's nowhere for the crew to hide. Here's Kathy trying to keep out of sight behind a police vehicle to get close enough to the action to record audio, and it highlights the fact that trying to monitor 360 action for elephant traps on a small 2D tablet screen is pretty difficult. And if you look closely here, you'll see Kathy's legs making a cameo appearance. We had to edit them out using a process called rotoscoping, which takes a huge amount of editing time and computing power. In the dog chase scene that follows, the crew is again hiding, this time behind a convenient hillock, so we can record sound and call in the various vehicles on cue. Everyone and everything in this scene is moving, so the fact that the camera sees everything in the round, coupled with the difficulty of editing out mistakes, means that detailed choreography was absolutely essential. It was crucial that every actor had a clear mental picture of how the shot would work and what was expected of them. So rather than just talk it through or put up a PowerPoint presentation, out of the loft came the old box of Lego to mock everything up for the participants, with an emphasis on detailed timings, lines of sight and actions. We even went out and bought a Lego police dog van, complete with dog and handler, to populate our tabletop world. And that planning really paid off. By the time we got out onto the airfield to set up the camera and walk things through in slow time, everyone had a clear idea of the ultimate goal. And then of course, the rain started. And one thing you just can't do with a 360 camera is film in the rain. There's nowhere to hide an umbrella or lens hood, and even a single droplet of rain on one of the camera's 6 wide-angle lenses could be enough to ruin the shot. Plus, of course, the camera itself isn't waterproof. The perpetrator's view of the action was achieved by having our dog handler carry a selfie stick in the same hand as the bag, which, thanks to the magic of 360 video, was actually invisible because it was in our camera's blind spot. Police dog Benny has a particularly hard bite, so our villain was very well padded. And part of the trick we had to pull off was to give him enough padding for protection without making him look noticeably bulkier than normal.
The law enforcement role of the RAF Police can often involve working alongside multiple agencies.
In the next scene, there are no swerving vehicles or running dogs to create interest, so the challenge was to imagine how we could surround the viewer with activity to make best use of our immersive technology and give them a very strong sense of being right in the heart of the action. There's something going on everywhere in the scene, and as all participants were genuine medics, firefighters and police officers, we had to rehearse every emergency service group individually so that they were seen to be doing something useful and relevant throughout the duration of the shot, given that the camera could see everything. In our initial recce a couple of weeks earlier, we'd briefed the RAF emergency services on what we wanted to set up, and as we explained the scenarios with our carefully positioned Lego models, They became more and more enthusiastic to the point that they started offering ideas for improving the scenes. Then we sprung on them the idea that we wanted to film this scene at night with floodlights, and there was an appreciable pause, but by this stage they'd really bought into the idea, and you can see from the results just how much effort the emergency services put into creating a floodlit scene with great atmospherics. Josie once again had to memorise all his lines because everything had to work in a single take. Whether you've watched this in a VR headset or on a smartphone with earbuds or headphones, you'll have noticed just how immersive the 3D sound effects are. And that's because for a really good 360 effect, it's not enough just to record the ambient sound and hope for the best. We recorded several individual soundtracks and then positioned each of those sounds exactly where we wanted them to appear to be coming from in a complex and time-consuming 3D sound edit. There are obvious dangers in placing an immovable object like a camera in front of an unstoppable force like a landing aircraft. But as the crew involved in setting up this scene are both experienced pilots, had been given a detailed safety brief from Bryce Norton Air Traffic Control, and the weather, wind and visibility were all fine, we were confident it would work and be safe. And it did. We'd love to have filmed this scene with the much larger C-17 filling the frame even more, but the flying programme didn't oblige, so this Hercules got the starring role. 360 filming isn't easy, especially when you're trying to direct the action and keep situational awareness of everything that's going on around you while keeping out of sight. And just to give you some idea of the stats, we captured 1.5 terabytes of data over 5 days of shooting, and it took over 250 hours of editing time to put it all together. The 360 camera records 6 individual 4K videos which have to be stitched together into a single 8K file, something that required a specially kitted out ultra-fast PC. We hope you've enjoyed the results of our work as much as the project team enjoyed learning how to use this cutting-edge technology for the benefit of the Royal Air Force. And we hope that this will be the first of many immersive experiences showcasing the RAF's assets and activities. From everyone involved, thanks for watching.